We're at the church in Gravesend, England, where Pocahontas was buried back in March of 1617. There's an effort here in England to correctly tell the story of Pocahontas and Captain John Smith.
Oh yes, John Smith, he's the guy who married Pocahontas, isn't he, if you ask people?
No.
They never fell in love. He was 27, she was 11, so it's extremely unlikely they had a romantic love affair, whatever Disney says. It's much more likely they had a friendship.
John Hayden has written several books about Captain John Smith. Reverend David Robinson provides over the church where Smith was baptized in 1579.
You know, he was actually a swashbuckling hero.
So he was robust, he was vigorous, he was very, very difficult to kill, which is always a good asset, and he kept the colony going. And through his friendship with Pocahontas, he also kept them fed, because the Algonquin Indians, the Powhatan Indians, kept them fed through much of the hard winters.
Pocahontas was buried in the chancel.
Sandra Soder is a Pocahontas historian. She says the daughter of Chief Powhatan gained in stature when she saved Smith's life in a confrontation with the Indians, illustrated in this quilt made by Gravesend residents.
But this could have been a ritual saving of life. In other words, we have power of life and death over you and the colonists, and okay, we're going to let you live. Pocahontas, of course, has since that time been symbolic of trying to bring peace and a uniting of two peoples.
2 years after going to Jamestown, an injury forced Captain John Smith back to London, but he wrote glowingly to Queen Anne, who lived in this palace, about Pocahontas saving him and keeping the settlers from starving to death.
Everybody wanted to see her.
Pocahontas eventually did come to London with a settler she married, gentleman John Rolfe. She converted to Christianity and took the name Rebecca. The king and queen embraced her.
It was really big news.
She became a big part of a PR mission to encourage more expeditions overseas, but on their way back to Jamestown, Pocahontas became fatally ill. She was brought ashore at this spot in Gravesend. But she and John Rolfe did have a son, Thomas. He kept her legacy alive by having many descendants. President Woodrow Wilson's wife was one of them. So is Mary Riggs.
All the things that she did, learning a totally different language, a totally different culture, totally different religion, and I think her legacy is one for particularly in a day of women's rise to prominence. It's an example to look to.
In Gravesend, England, LaSalle Blanks, 13 News.